Real estate is about to change. Something new is coming. Something faster, smarter, built for a world that no longer waits. Created by REI Labs, this is the first artificial real estate intelligence, RE. For years, beginners have been left guessing, unsure where to start, who to trust, or how to know if a deal is real. Questions went unanswered, information was scattered, and mistakes were expensive. RE changes that. RE gives you real-time answers, comps, and ARV, nationwide buyers, live online leads, and deal intelligence, all in one system that guides you. Whether you're just starting or ready to move faster, RE is there when no one else is. This isn't another course. This isn't another tool. This is real estate intelligence. Available in English and Spanish. The future is here, and real estate will never be the same. Enrollment is limited. Go to the site now and join the waiting list.
Good morning, good morning. Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing this morning? It is a great morning to be in real estate. Guys, things are changing so fast, and I am just so lucky to be part of it. I've been in the industry for so many years, and I am lucky to be part of. I'm lucky to be asked and have said yes to this awesome system that REI Labs created. Guys, if you're not familiar with REI Labs, they are the creator of RE. RE will sooner than later, it's going to sweep across the nation. And what it is a specific purpose real estate AI that was built specifically for real estate operators, anybody who wants to learn real estate, anybody who's been in real estate, and even coaches, guys. We really think that REI Labs is going to have a big impact on the coaching and the mentoring and the guruing that happens in real estate. That's been happening in real estate over the last 50 years. But never before has there ever been a system where just a regular Joe could ask a question and get an answer immediately. That's here today. And so, today we're going to be talking about REI Labs. We're going to be talking about RE, which is the AI system that REI Labs created. We're going to be talking a little bit about different real estate strategies right now that people are talking about. One of them being sub-2. Comment on that a little bit, and then we're going to talk about how you, the consumer, doesn't matter what level you're at, can actually learn real estate on your own. I mean, we're not saying in any kind of way not to use a mentor, coach, or a guru, but they're never around usually when you need an answer. And so REI Labs aims to change that. So there's a 2-year initiative that started 2 years ago, actually in February or late January of 2024. And today it is a very high-powered system, guys. And I'm so happy to be a part of it. I mean, I'm the first ambassador. I'm the guy that said yes. I'm just so lucky to have been behind the scenes and see it grow and see how they built it. And now it's here. And so, guys, if you're listening to this, this is so important. Before we get started this morning, we are currently, or rather, REI Labs is currently looking, searching for those group of people, man, that are motivated. Now, we're not necessarily looking for, guru types. Okay, they already have an audience. We're looking for those leaders inside those groups. We're looking for leaders inside the groups that are probably doing all the education. They're doing all the teaching, they're doing all the educating, they're doing all the grunt work, and somebody else is making the money. We're looking for you. And the reason we're looking for you, because if you're a leader and you have influence and you have individuals that follow you and listen to you, what if you had access to a system where not only are you consulting with these individuals when you can, but now they can ask a question anytime and get a specific purpose response. Guys, and let me explain something. There is a difference between general purpose and specific purpose. RE was built to be specific purpose, so it's very detailed to real estate. Having said that, guys, let me just talk a little bit about REI Labs. If you don't know who I am, my name is Uncle Charles. I've been in the business 22 years. And I was asked about 2 years ago to be part of an initiative that was going to build an AI specifically for real estate. REI Labs is that a group of highly specialized, intelligent individuals who are in the world of AI, and they had a vision to build a system. And they actually went around asking several folks in the industry if they would be interested. I'm the one that said yes, and here we are 2 years later, launching REI Labs. And with God's help, we are going to change the industry, guys. We're going to make a bold statement and change the industry. So if you're not listening to me or paying attention, you should, because there's a system coming that's going to change how things are done. And that system is called RE. RE is an AI specific purpose AI, much like the major GPTs that you hear about, for example, ChatGPT, DeepSeek, Claude. Those are all very specialized systems, and they're international systems. Well, RE is a specific purpose system for real estate. Okay, and it functions a lot like those systems, but it's very specific to real estate, all things real estate. And to date, we can absolutely say that there is no human on planet Earth that can answer as many questions at the same time, because a human can only answer a question one question at a time. But the beautiful thing about RE is that you can ask it any question, and it's going to give you an answer on the spot. And if you're in real estate, if you're just learning how to do real estate, and whether you bought a course or you're in a mentorship, RE is a good what we call an action-based mentor 24/7. So we're not asking you to get rid of your mentors or your gurus or your coaches. We're saying, hey, don't you have a question and they're not around? And I think what's going to happen here as RE starts to take off is we're taking on people every day now. I think what's going to happen is I think there's going to be a big shift, man. I think people are going to learn that they can learn the art of real estate on their own. And again, we're not advocating to get rid of any of these individuals that teach. I've taught before, but what we're saying is that we believe that people can learn faster on their own and by asking questions. So if that's you and you have a question in real estate, guys, go to the REI Labs .ai website, check it out, read some of the information, watch some of the videos, and I think you're going to find that, wow, for $47 a month, I get to ask any question that I want in real estate, whether it's development, Section 8, creative financing, novations, anything you can think of, it's there. And on top of that, the beautiful thing about REI Labs, what they created, now keep in mind, it's still in beta. What they created with a system that can fetch you data, live data. So there is no storage of leads in REI Labs. That's not what we do. It's the inverse of what is happening right now. So every single system in real estate today has a storage of data, and then they update that data. Maybe daily, maybe weekly, maybe once a month. But RE doesn't do that. RE fetches data. So if you join if you join REI Labs, there's a set of prompts you can request data from, and it already knows what to go get. So initially, you should concentrate every day on the data it gets, and you get deals, or and also it also has buyers. So it has over 3 million buyers that it can produce. Not all at the same time, of course. Right now, the thing about RE, it has buyers down to the city, but eventually it'll have the buyers down to the zip code and the use case. So that's another awesome thing. And then something that's really, really cool about RE is that it can get it's very good at getting comps and ARVs, especially in the larger cities. It can create contracts. It's a very good system, and we believe it's going to really change how things are done. So that is the story on REI Labs. These individuals had a vision to create a product that would help people learn real estate faster without having to spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on individuals who show up once a week, once a month, and charge a lot of money. And then, of course, they wanted to build a system where people could have access to data, buyers, comps, contracts, and all type of information. It's right there at your fingertips, and it's also in Spanish. So if you primarily speak Spanish and you've been wanting to learn how to do real estate, you have questions, RE can answer those questions in Spanish, and it's programmed to completely fetch the information in both languages. Of course, it can do other languages, but those are the two primary languages in the United States that people are doing real estate. So if you are if you're interested in getting information quickly, hey man, get in there, get after it, get involved with REI Labs. Keep in mind, guys, right now it is in beta. So once it gets out of beta, the price will go up, but yours won't. Your price will never go up. It'll stay at the price it is today. And no matter what they add to it, your price will never increase. So think about that. And if you see that's value to you, I would ask you to get in there. Okay, having said that, let's talk about something today. So I've been in the business a long time, and I never made it a point to comment or criticize any other person who has influence in the real estate industry. I never wanted to do that. But I wanted to comment a little bit on subject to. So, I used to run a company called HPHS, and I had a partner, and we were doing subject twos, way before it was vogue. Guys, people don't realize this, but subject two has been around actually for a long time, a lot longer than people realize, and way before it was even called sub two or subject two. And we were doing these deals years ago. I mean, we started doing them in 2013, but people were already doing them. And it's always been a good way to acquire properties. Now, the situation is that a lot of people have learned how to get into a sub two, but they haven't really learned how to get out of a sub two, or how to protect themselves from a due on sale, or how to protect the original owner, or if you wrapped it, how to protect the new owner. And so I wanted to comment a little bit on this, because I see there's a few operators and they were pretty big operators that recently are coming under fire. And they're coming under fire because I guess they're losing their portfolios. I think they over leverage a lot of subject twos, and that can only be done when you're in a big community and everybody's turning to you and you're taking on a lot of these properties. When in fact, you shouldn't be taking on all the properties. You should be taking on just the ones that make sense. And so the problem with subject to is if you get into a deal that you absolutely from the jump, from the very beginning, cannot figure out or justify or pretty much guarantee the exit if XYZ happens, you're going to lose. And that's just a fact. You know, if you get into a subject to and the numbers look great, and that's usually what people look at. They're like, man, this is a great deal. I'm going to get into this deal. I'm going to get it for free. But you haven't done your due diligence and you haven't figured out what the exit is. Like, what is the exit on this subject to if XYZ happens? What is the worst thing that could happen? The worst thing that could happen is that the lender calls, you know, the due on sell clause. The second thing, the second worst thing that could happen is the seller starts to challenge you on the validity of the agreement that you guys negotiated, which is the subject to itself. And then, of course, you know, you have other nuances. For example, let's say you wrap the property and somebody files a bankruptcy. Who's going to pay the underlying lien? And so that's always an issue. What if somebody stops making payments if you wrapped the subject to? Who's going to pay the underlying lien? How do you foreclose? The other issues are, let's just say you rent the property. Now you got a squatter. How do you get those people out there? Who's going to pay the underlying lien? What if you have an insurance claim and the insurance company doesn't want to pay the claim because they want the lender to sign off, and the original owner is non-compliant, or God forbid you give them the check and then they go to cash it. Now you don't get the funds. Like, how do you get around that? So subject to is something that if you really don't know how to wrap your mind around, you really don't know how to navigate those deals, you're gonna get in problems. It's real easy to get into it, guys. It's super easy to get into a subject to. The hard part is understanding how to get out of it. And if you're doing subject to and you're taking these deals on and you don't have a pretty much concrete resolution as to how you're going to get out of that deal if XYZ happens, then you shouldn't be doing it. You shouldn't be doing it. I have facilitated many subject twos over the years. I've experienced so many nuances when it comes to this strategy, and me and my ex-partner, we always overcame. But I think today a lot of folks have learned how to get into these deals. They just really don't have any idea of how to get out of the deals, and they concentrate primarily on what the deal is going to make, and I think that that's the wrong approach. You know, there's a lot of money to be made with subject twos. There's several different kind of ways to make money with it, but at the end of the day, you have to be able to get out of it. So having said that, one of the beautiful things about RE is that it understands everything about subject to. So RE understands pretty much everything about subject to. It can teach you subject to without you having to spend, $5, $7, $8, $10, $15, $20,000 on how to learn the strategy. So if you are interested in how to learn how to do a subject to, maybe you don't want to spend the money to learn how to do this strategy, or maybe you're curious. You're like, man, I'm curious about how to do a subject to. Well, RE is a good start. Why? Because it's only $47 a month, and you can ask it any question about a subject to. Or if you all you know is the word or the phrase subject to, just say, hey, what is a subject to? And it's going to give you an answer. So that is the beautiful thing about it. And I guarantee you, there's no guru you can just call right now and be like, hey, can you tell me what the subject to is? That's not going to happen. So, let's ask Ari here. Let's ask it a question. Give me a second. What is a subject to transaction? So we're going to ask Ari right here. And I'm going to show you guys the beauty of this system here. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me transfer over. Screen share. Look at that. So it's breaking down to you what subject 2 is. And it's doing it in seconds, guys. It is very, very detailed. Like, it is very detailed. You could, in an afternoon, get a good understanding of almost any strategy, and or walk the system can walk you through the strategy itself. You know, what I did here is I asked it, like, what is a subject to transaction? And the beautiful thing about this, guys, the beautiful thing about this is that you can take, for example, any of this information here and be like, what is what is existing debt? You know, let's ask it that. You know, let's say, man, let's say I have no idea of how real estate works. It says, well, you know, what is existing debt? Let's just say, for example, you had that question, and you want to know right now. You don't want to wait for the response. You want to know right now. And so what Ari's doing, it's going to go get that information for you, and it's going to bring it back to you. And keep in mind, guys, that subject 2 is a very specialized, creative type of deal. And if you don't know what you're doing, you can get into a lot of problems, because there is a lot of nuances that go on with subject 2. As you can see here, it gives you a pretty good detail. Now I'm going to ask it actually for an example of a subject 2. Give me an example of a subject to transaction, guys. And we're doing this live. Like, I'm not pre-recording this. You know, we're doing this live. And the problem, I think, in the industry with a lot of people that teach is that they record a lot of this stuff. As you can see here, it's giving us an example of a subject 2, then it's explaining it. You know, I think a lot of people in the industry today, they record a lot of stuff, and they cut out all the, all the mistakes, and so it makes things look very, very simple. And the problem with that train of thought is that not everything is simple. You got to know some stuff, and if somebody's not there to help you, then you have to pay for it. And in most cases, folks are paying, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 to learn how to do a specific strategy or have a simple question. So you're paying for proximity. And the problem with proximity is it's always the same. It's always the same in any mentorship, any coaching program. The problem with proximity that it feels good when you're around that person. When that person is there, the teacher, it feels good because you're taking a photo, you're hugging, you feel good. Maybe you spend a minute talking to that person because he's in town, or whatever the case. It feels good, and everybody wants to belong. Everybody wants to be part of something. The problem with that is that if you spent a lot of money, let's say God forbid, $25,000 on any specific real estate strategy, is that person's not going to be there all the time, especially not when you have a question. And the other thing you have to keep in mind, and this, all the programs work like this. I hate to put everybody in a category, but it's just true. I don't think I've ever seen hardly any that don't work this way. In most cases, in high dollar mentorships, what's happening is, especially the teaching part of it, you usually have underlings teaching, either employees or students or individuals that are teaching the system, and they may not have the same experience that the individual who actually promoted and sold the product, or rather the mentorship, has. It happens all the time where somebody that's really, really good at something gets someone else to teach it. And that person may not have as many deals under their belt. And so now you're relying on that person. And then you feel good when you see the main guy And guys, that's not the way to learn. You're going to learn. You're going to learn making mistakes, and the reason you're going to learn making mistakes is because trickle down information always has issues. Because trickle down information, especially in real estate, if somebody has mastered a certain type of a strategy, and then they teach it to someone else, or they verbally teach it to somebody else, right? And that person has never done deals or hasn't done as many deals. What ends up happening is that person teaches it from their perspective, and now you're getting third party, sometimes fourth, fifth, hand-me-down information, and then here you are relying on that information to go do some deals, especially if they're complicated deals, and you get into problems and you wonder why. That's why, because you're not getting it from the source. So the beautiful thing about RE is that it doesn't sleep. You don't have to ask it like, hey, can I ask you a question? Hey, I got a question. You just say, hey, I want this answer. Tell me how to do this. You just tell it. It doesn't feel anything. You just tell it, what is this? How to do this? And that's what RE is. And so, guys, I am so proud to be the first ambassador of REI Labs for this RE initiative. And if you're looking to learn how to do any type of real estate, I ask you, go to the website, check out the website, read what RE is. We know it's going to take the industry by storm, and we already have people signing up. Keep in mind, guys, it doesn't matter what type of real estate you do. There's no human on planet Earth that can outmatch any AI, and specifically RE in real estate. So if you're interested in learning, get it. Go check out the site. You'll be grandfathered in because right now it's in beta, and learn how to do real estate on time. Learn how to do real estate specifically to what you want to learn, and we're not saying get rid of your mentors. We're just saying, hey guys, they're not around all the time. So if you're interested in that, guys, get in there, get after it, go get RE, check it out, take it for a spin, and I hope to see you on the other side. Don't get in trouble with these subject twos. I think there's going to be a lot of information that's going to come out here in the next few days when it comes to subject two. Keep in mind, guys, a lot of that most likely happened because of hand-me-down knowledge. And that is the problem in the industry. Hand-me-down knowledge is what gets people in trouble, because the person who usually excels, we don't know who those people are going to be. It's usually somebody that excels, and if they got hand-me-down information, they're going to fail. And that's a very hard thing, because if a really good person who's really good at doing the business fails because he got hand-me-down information, that's a sad thing. So if you're one of those individuals that's a go-getter, you know how to hustle, you know how to grind, and you're relying on someone to give you information, guys, go get RE. Go get RE and check their information. So you may have a question at 2 p.m., at 2 a.m., or you may have a question on the spot with one of these leaders. Check the information. RE does not lie. RE does not sleep. RE does not care. It will just respond to you. So it'll give you the answers that you want. And one of the most important things, guys, this is so awesome, and I'll share this with you, is any mentor or any leader can only answer one question at a time, just one. And they may be able to answer that question very elegantly, but RE can answer thousands of questions at the same time. So imagine that. If you're in a room of 100 people, do you think your question is going to be answered? RE can do that. RE can do that for everybody in the room and then some. So with that said, guys, go get RE. Go check it out. Don't get in trouble like some of these folks are getting in trouble with subject twos here. news is coming out that some gentleman is losing a lot of properties. I believe over, I don't know, the count I saw was over 300. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't want to speculate. But if somebody's losing that many properties, and he was really a really good operator, chances are what he got was hand-me-down information, and that's why he made some mistakes. I don't want to say that he was a bad person, because I never say that. There are bad operators out there, but if somebody has that many properties, I want to say that they had good intentions, but they just probably didn't get the full, A to Z knowledge that he needed to get. And A to Z means, hey, how do I get in? How do I get out? How do I get problems? And that's the problem, guys, because the one teaching usually is not able to teach everybody. So go get Ari. Ari doesn't sleep. Ari doesn't care. Ari's going to give you the answer. Guys, Ari's going to change real estate education. We're just coming out of the box. I think everybody's going to hate us for a little while, especially the gurus. But once it starts to take hold, guys, we're going to change your life. And guess what, man? It's live. Go get it. And I hope to see you on the other side. With that said, this is Uncle Charles reporting. We're going to be coming at you every 8 a.m., 5 days a week. Right now, we're just talking about Ari, but we're going to be talking about all kinds of stuff. We're going to be talking about partial interest. We're going to be talking about dirty title. We're going to be talking about subject twos, wholesaling, hotel innovations, Section 8, BRRRRs, flipping. This is going to be a channel that talks about everything, and primarily how AI is going to change not only how people look at real estate, but how they learn real estate. With that said, guys, Uncle Charles is here. I'll talk to you later. Remember, Real Estate Reimagined is not just a slogan or phrase we came out with. We want to reimagine real estate, man. We want to reimagine that we can do it better. And if you're in that thought process and you want to say to yourself, like, man, I'm going to do this better. I'm going to make more money. And there's more to do in real estate than what I've been doing, then I invite you to follow me. With that said, click the link below. Follow me on IG. Follow me on Facebook. Follow me on LinkedIn. Follow me on TikTok. Guys, 2 years I've been involved in this project. 2 years of my life. It's here. I'm going to start talking about it. With that said, I'll see you later.